one day, this king had a very strange dream. He dreamt that, he said, إِنِّي أَرَى سَبْعَ بَقَرَاتٍ سِمَانٍ. I saw in my dream 7 fat, healthy, plump cows. يَأْكُلْهُنَّ سَبْعٌ عِجَافٍ. Eating from those healthy cows were 7 sick, old cows. And he also saw سبع سنبلات, 7 grains of wheat. They were ripe and green. And 7 other ones that were wilted and dry. So he said, come on, tell me, who can tell me what this dream means? So they told him, what are you talking about, dream, not dream? This is just some stuff that you dreamt about. How can we tell you what it means? It doesn't mean anything. And then the person who was in prison with Sayyidina Yusuf remembered. He said, I know someone who can tell you what this dream means. And they went and they called Yusuf. And the king told him, come on, Sayyidina Yusuf. He didn't tell him Sayyidina Yusuf, but he said, come on, Yusuf, tell me, what does this dream mean? He told him, there are going to come 7 years where we will be blessed with a lot of rizq. We're going to have a lot of good fruits, we're going to have food, the harvest is going to be good, the animals are going to be healthy, and we're going to have a lot of khair in our rizq. After those 7 years, it's going to come a drought. There's going to be no good harvest, there will not be rain, the crops aren't going to grow. So I suggest, because Sayyidina Yusuf was very wise, he suggested to the king that in this 7 years that we're going to have a lot of good crop and harvest, you take some, you eat from it, and you spend it as you need, but you save some for the upcoming 7 years. So here's another good thing that came out of Sayyidina Yusuf being in the well and then being in the prison. He got to save the country from bad drought. And so, seeing that this Yusuf is very wise, he made him his treasurer. He made him in charge of money, he made him in charge of wealth, of harvest, and Sayyidina Yusuf was given a very high and mighty status in Misr. So after some time, the 7 years came, the years with bountiful and a lot of rizq, a lot of good harvest, healthy animals to eat from. Those 7 years came, or they started. And the people, or the king of Egypt, sent out messages and announcements to the countries surrounding them, telling them, come to us, get some provisions and take home so that you can be safe from the drought, so that you can have food. So Sayyidina Yaqub, who was back in Jerusalem or somewhere in Palestine, sent his 10 sons, not Binyamin, only 10 of them. He sent them to Egypt to get for them those provisions. He sent them in caravans. Look. Like this, on camels, with them carrying some of their stuff, because it's a long journey all the way to Egypt, the land of the pyramids. So they went and they were asking for their provisions, and maybe someone asked them, are you sure that these are the only brothers? And maybe someone mentioned that no, there's a brother back at home. Yusuf was of course in charge of the treasures, so when he saw them, he knew that those were his brothers. He recognized them, but they did not recognize him. So he asked, are you sure this is it? Are you sure there's no more? And I guess they didn't want to lie, so they said, no, we have a brother back at home. He told them, how do you expect me to give you food for this brother who's back at home? How do I know he exists? You need to go back and bring him to me so I can see him and give him his food. Because they can't just give out food without knowing exactly who they're giving it to. But they told him, our father is an old man. We don't want to go back and take this brother. He's very dear to his heart. He said, no, I can't give you his food unless I see him. They tried with him, he didn't agree. Because he wanted to see his brother, Binyamin. So they went all the way back to Palestine. They told their father, we need Binyamin, send Binyamin with us. Of course, Sayyidina Yaqub was hesitant again. He lost the first beloved son. He didn't want to lose the second. Keep in mind that those 12 sons, 10 of them was from one wife, and 2 of them, Binyamin and Sayyidina Yusuf, were from a second wife who was younger, but she died first. And of course, If a man's wife dies, all that's left of her are her children. So Prophet Yaqub really loved Binyamin and Yusuf a lot, and he held them very dearly in his heart. He told them, I will only send him if you promise, if you swear on Allah that you will take good care of him. They swore on Allah, we'll take good care of him, send him with us, we'll watch over him. And so he sent Binyamin with them, but he told them, be careful, come in from different doors. You know why? Because Sayyidina Yaqub didn't want some person to look at them with an evil eye and, hasad, saying, wow, 11 sons, how amazing. And then something bad might happen to his sons. So they listened to them, they listened to their father, and they went in from different doors. So they went back to get the food and take that back to Palestine, and Sayyidina Yusuf saw Binyamin. And he didn't announce it loudly, but between him and Binyamin, he told him, don't worry, I'm your brother Yusuf, because something is coming up. So after they weighed their stuff, they gave it to them, and everything was almost done, suddenly someone yells out, of course this is Yusuf's plan, someone yelled out that the cup of the king is missing. And Yusuf had told someone to plant this cup in Binyamin's stuff. Why? Because as I mentioned earlier, at the time, a person who steals becomes the slave from the person who he stole from. So they told everyone, before anyone goes anywhere, we need to make sure where this cup is. So the brothers told him, of course we're not going to steal, we're not thieves, we're not going to steal. But he said, we need to check your stuff anyway. So he said, okay, go ahead, check. They told him, go ahead, check. We're not thieves, check. He checked. He came to Binyamin's stuff, and there he found the cup. They were all surprised, and at the same time they were mad because now they're going to take Binyamin. And out of their anger, they said words that were very hurtful. They said, oh yeah, he's stealing like his brother from before him. Meaning who? Sayyidina Yusuf. Even though he didn't steal. Remember that story I told you? It was his aunt who was joking with her brother to keep Yusuf at her house. Of course, Yusuf must have been so hurt. How can someone hold in their heart so much hatred and jealousy after throwing him in the well after so many years, to say such words and accuse him of something, even though he's clearly innocent? But Sayyidina Yusuf kept the sadness in his heart. And so Yusuf was hurt and sad, but he kept it in his heart and he didn't say anything. He only thought in his heart, you guys come from bad, and Allah knows what you're talking about. Yusuf never stole. Astaghfirullah. And so the brothers told him, please, he has an old father back at home. Take one of us instead of him. Don't take Binyamin. He said, Ma'adallah, A'udhu billah. I'm not going to take someone who hasn't stole. Then I would be oppressive. I'm going to take the one who did the bad deed. I can't take anyone else. They tried with him, but he did not agree. He wanted to keep Binyamin with him. And eventually, the oldest son told them, you guys go back. I'm not leaving this land until my father knows what's happening. Or until my father allows me to leave without Binyamin. He stayed, he said, you guys go back. Go tell him what happened. Go tell your father what happened. So they went with their stuff and they went back to their father and they told them, Father, we are not lying to you this time. Your son has stolen. He stole and they kept him because he stole. Sayyidina Yaqub at that time was devastated. His first son from his younger wife who died, gone. And now his second, he was so sad. He cried so much that he became blind. And he said, and so they started telling him, Father, what, you're going to mourn Yusuf until you die or until something bad happens to you? He said, I'm going to only complain to Allah. Allah is the person I will complain to. And I will hope that Allah will bring him back to me. They said, how will he bring him back to you? They're gone. But he did not lose hope in Allah. And he told them, go back. Look for Yusuf. Look for Binyamin. Bring them back to me. And again, They went back to Egypt, all 9 brothers, because 3 were left in Egypt. All 9 brothers from Palestine took that long distance back to get their brothers back. When they reached, Sayyidina Yusuf, khalas, he wanted to tell them. He came to them and he looked at them and he told them, tell me, what did you do to your brother Yusuf? They were shocked. They were like, إِنَّكَ لَأَنْتَ Yusuf? Are you Yusuf? And he said to them, yes, I'm Yusuf and this is my brother. Take my shirt, take it to your father. Let him, if he smells my scent, he'll know that I am alive and I am well. Bring him back to me and come back to Egypt. And again, now all 10 brothers with the eldest son, with his shirt, they go back to Sayyidina Yaqub, and Sayyidina Yaqub, automatically, he said, I smell my son, I smell Yusuf. And they threw Sayyidina Yusuf's shirt on their father's face, and his sight came back to him out of joy. And then the brothers and the father went to Egypt, and after everything that those brothers did to Yusuf growing up, and after they accused him again of thievery, after so many years, he told them, there is nothing that's going to be on your account today. I have forgiven you. Come into Egypt. You are safe here. What an amazing, amazing example of absolute forgiveness. And because of Sayyidina Yusuf's mighty status at the time and of how forgiving he was, how amazing he has been to everyone, his dream came true and they all made sujood to Sayyidina Yusuf, and that's how Allah made Sayyidina Yusuf's dream come true. What a beautiful story. It took us on a very emotional roller coaster, starting from Sayyidina Yusuf being a little boy until he grew up and became treasurer for the king. And we had sad times of Sayyidina Yusuf being thrown in the well, and then happy times of him being reunited with his family and everyone living together peacefully after so many years of hardship. Today I have 2 questions for you. The first question is, what is the name of the eldest brother? He was the one who told them, don't kill him, throw him in the well instead, and he was the one who said, I'm not leaving until I get permission from my father. Second question is, what was the law for a thief at the time of Sayyidina Yaqub? I mentioned this twice, so if you're paying attention, you'll know. I really, really enjoyed telling you this story. Honestly, this is one of my favorite stories growing up and until now, and Surah Yusuf is one of my favorite surahs. Ask your father or mother to read it to you today while you're going to sleep. Thank you for watching this story with us, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Assalamu alaikum.